good morning, good afternoon, or good night, or whatever ungodly hour you find yourself listening. We are the Bards Against Humanity, here to strum your lute and absolutely wreck your ear hole. So prepare for a podcast that's going to hit harder than a nat one in bed, because we're coming in your ears.
That's right. Today, obviously, there is Leo. Yo. We also have Dan.
I love you introduce yourself. And there is Leo.
I've got... Someone has to, all right? Thanks for the sass, especially in front of our guest. It is Josh from Rolling One's D&D content page. Josh, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
I'm excited. We have you don't know you outside of this.
Nope.
Exciting times.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah, it's going to be strange recording with someone that we're less familiar with than usual, but it should be really, really fun. Before we do get started, though, we will give Josh a little handle to say what to give a little heads up on what he gets. If I could talk, this would be absolutely amazing.
You want me to do it?
Yeah,
Well,
you do it.
Hey, Josh. Josh, what is Rolling Ones? What kind of content do you do? Tell us about it. Give us a blurb.
It's pretty much just D&D related short. I write scripts. At the moment, I'm using pretty shitty AI voiceover because my microphone doesn't work. I've had countless issues with it before this episode. And yeah, I just come up with D&D villain ideas, just quick breakdowns, just for you to consume within 60 seconds. Although I've got a couple of longer form videos, and I'm hoping to bring that back and make it something a bit more permanent. But yeah, I try and make it, easy to consume, basically. That's my whole vibe that I'm going to be going for. Nothing crazy, nothing amazing. I do what I say on the tin, pretty much.
Fair. Easy to consume. Wow.
It was right there.
Wow.
But yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
It is amazing. And you know what? Pretty good shorts. I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah.
You've seen a lot of shorts, eh, buddy?
I don't own very many of them. I have seen quite
Oh,
a few.
no. That makes it worse. Makes it so much worse.
Anywho.
But enough about that.
Enough about that. Apparently my lack of shorts. Josh had reached out to us, and we were, after chatting to him for a little bit and seeing a few bits of what he does, we were absolutely delighted to have him on. And he specifically asked to come on for what we're going to talk about today. Leo, would you like to introduce that, or will we hand that over to the honored guest of the evening?
You know what? Let the honored guest do it.
Hey, right, that's a lot of pressure. Basically, today we're just going to be talking about the Pact of the Fiends subclass for Warlock class in D&D. It's my favourite class and also my favourite subclass. Pretty bog standard stuff. It's always been in the player's guide, so quite a lot of people tend to have access to it early on. So I feel like for those core subclasses, you really need to hit it on the head, hit the nail on the head when you're approaching those if you're going to rewrite them. So it'll be interesting to see what they're like, to be honest.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Leo, you might be out of a job. He's doing really well.
Yeah, well, fuck yeah.
Suck it, nerd.
You love me, really.
Then you know what? I'll take rolling ones.
You can have it. You can have it. It caused me nothing but pain.
Oh,
Yeah,
God. Oh, Lord.
To build off that, Leo, I suppose, why don't you take us into the first ability of Pact of the Fiend Warlock? What does it do? What does it change to?
All right. So, as per usual, in 2014, this was at level 1. Now in 2024, you do have to wait till level 3. So the first thing you do get is Dark One's Blessing, starting at first level. When you reduce a hostile creature to 0 hit points, you gain temporary hit points equal to your Charisma modifier plus your Warlock level. Right, that's what it was back in 2014. In in 2024, it is very similar, but there's one key change. There's still, when you reduce an enemy to 0 hit points, you gain the temporary hit points, charisma modifier plus your warlock level, but you also gain this benefit if someone kills an enemy within 10 feet of you as well. So yes, you gotta wait till you're level 3, but it's a little better.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a lot better, a little bit overpowered, which is why I understand it coming at level 3, to be honest. However,
so sad about it.
However, the fact that we're waiting till level 3 to get anything at all, is the big problem. It's big. It's huge. Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but it's pretty interesting.
I would argue that it is a big problem to get stuff at level 3 versus level 1. I think they've just changed the order of how things is gifted to you. Because you still get, at level 1, you get to choose your invocation, I believe. So you can choose something like Pact of the Tome, Pact of the Blade, Pact of the Chain. Obviously the one I care less about, apparently, since I fucking forgot it. So they have changed the order of things around, and I still don't know how I feel about standardizing, getting everyone's subclass at level 3. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet.
You do know how you feel. You do know how you feel deep down. You've got that rage inside you. I can hear it.
I do, because Sorcerer is my second favorite class, and I fucking hate that I get my subclass at level 3 instead of 2. Okay? No, instead of 1.
Oh, Dan, I think if I were you, I would say that again. You cut out.
God fucking damn it. Gist of it is, I don't like that everyone gets their shit at level 3. Sorcerer used to get it at 1.
Yeah, and I think with the balancing of classes as well, Warlock's not like, even though it's technically one of, like, if you would think Warlock would be a very spellcasty spell, like a spell user as a class, but I think it's one of the more utilitarian classes out of a lot of them. I think it's more of a jack of all trades and a master of one. So I genuinely believe that those sort of classes you should be getting more early on, because like the extent of the max heights of what you can achieve through that class doesn't start to creep up into later levels. If you get me.
I'm there. Do you know what? As a fighter and barbarian guy, it really doesn't bother me in the slightest.
No, because you just go around stabby everything.
Yeah, hey, you know what? My turn. What do I do this turn? Will I hit them or will I hit them? I think I'll hit them.
Yeah, which I'd say it makes sense that maybe he's because your damage output, like up close and personal, is probably going to be a lot better than a Warlock's, that you wait till level 3 to sort of get those improvements. But the whole thing around Warlocks is they become a Warlock by making a pact. So surely you would be a Warlock at level, like a Warlock of whatever pact at level 1.
At least, right, in my opinion, it does give the DM a bit of fun, because when people level up, they'll be able to announce the level 3 level up with their Warlock, which could be roleplay wise, and I'm not a massive roleplay kind of guy. Speak of that what you will.
We'll see.
But for roleplay in D&D, you can actually pair this up really nicely, especially for the DM being like, Steven. So actually, no, we have other people in this chat. Josh, fucking dude comes over to you, but no one else sees him, but you don't know that yet. As you can tell, I do not DM. And he tells you, Fiend. DMs with much more time to organize will have a better idea of what I'm talking about. But what as a DM, Dan, does that concept excite you?
It does a little bit, actually. I'm not gonna lie, because I thought you were going down that road for a second, and we'll get back to Pax the Fiend eventually. Instead of just shitting on the fact that everyone gets everything at level 3. The route I thought you were going down there for a minute was not announcing to your DM that you're playing a Warlock, and then just announcing at level 3 that you've formed this magical bond with whatever the fuck. But it is quite nice to have that little air of mystery for the rest of the party, at least until level 3, that you could be like, oh, I could be a warlock. Oh, I could be a sorcerer. Oh, I'm not going to cast my Eldritch Blast until I hit level 3 and reveal it to everybody dramatically.
You could do
Something
that
along those
anyway.
lines. But you definitely can't do that anyway. I mean, it's just building off Leo's point. I do feel like there is at least a little bit of a roleplay element to the first 2 levels to that when you get to 3,
And you
could be first introduced.
and you can make it as climactic or anticlimactic as you'd like. You know what I mean? So you could have this big monstrosity, fiendish looking fuck approach your warlock, or you could have a guy called Greg. Yo, what's up? Did you want to pay for this half price, or do you want to steal it? Dun dun dun, and you nick it, and it's like, fiend pact.
I also think that I think most people who have played D&D for a while don't usually start a campaign at level 1 anyway. They usually start at level 3 because most classes already have a subclass at that point.
I do believe that was a thing. As I think we actually started. What? Correct me if I'm wrong, Leo, but I think we started Wildman at level 3.
We've started a lot of campaigns level 3.
We have, because I personally like it, because I feel like, because I remember before, whenever we started at level 1, it's very precariously balanced on the fine edge of a knife, and any slight teeter one way will cause it to just get fucked in the worst possible way. As a DM, I personally find it really hard to balance around level 1, so I like to start at level 3, where people have tools to use.
I totally agree. I'm also a DM. Level 1 is really, really difficult for the DM to balance like an encounter, but I think when you do it well, you can, because you happen to really think about it, it can be exciting in other ways than giant blasting fireballs and, oh look, a bloody giant Leviathan. Do you know what I mean? Level 1 has its own little quirks to it where each challenge is unique. Do you know what I mean? Traps mean more. Like, you step on a bear trap, could kill you. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, yeah. You're pretty close to a regular
which-
dude at level 1.
Yeah, which is exciting in some ways, I think, but level 1 is a precarious position to be in, depending on your DM and depending on your players as well. You might be a really careful DM that really doesn't want to get them killed, a pussy, but they might be players that just run straight in. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't.
They're players that run straight the fuck in.
Yeah. At level 1 as well, and they're like, I've got 8 HP, let's go. Do you know what I mean?
I think Leo and some of the other guys in our D&D group can attest that when I'm in the DM seat, I don't tend to hold back.
Do you know what, Dan? This is how I feel as a player, where especially early on, you're like, have fun with your characters, go fucking nuts. There hits a stage, I want to say once we hit like double digits in level, when you just know when there's like the are you sure turns into, oh really? You're gonna do that? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's like level 8. I mean, I'm like, well, you hit level 5, and you're approaching level 10, and the training wheels come off.
Now you're gonna cry when your character dies, you prick.
Yeah, because now you're emotionally attached. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just as I planned.
I'm a bit of a mean DM. Yeah, that's it. I don't have anything else to put on that. I'm just a mean DM.
Good for you, man. Good for you. We need more of you. Be honest.
Okay, back to Act of the Fiends.
That's why Dark One's Blessing, I think, even though due to the level changes, is actually a massive increase, because you're in the mix anyway. You're going to try and get in there, and you're not trying to, like, get scummy kills. Being like, no, you go first. Oh, he's nearly dead. Yes, I'm the winner. I killed him. Give me my 10 hit points, please. You're not doing that anymore. You're just in the mixer, you know? I think it's good.
Here is where I would like to pick both your brains, right? Because of the specific wording of the new version of Dark One's Blessing, and I know how my DM brain interprets this. But I want to see the opinion from a player and a DM. So, with the change, it says that it also counts when an ally reduces a creature to 0 hit points within 10 feet of you. Are you counting that as the ally within 10 feet of you, or the enemy within 10 feet of you?
Oh,
I'd say as a DM, depending on your, like, that's a hard one.
if the dead body has to be within 10 feet of you. But also, right, the wording is actually, it's not even, you gain this benefit if someone else reduces an enemy. Oh, it's an enemy. I wonder, now, I want to pick your DM brain. So if I'm fighting an enemy and my ally dies, it was considered their enemy.
No.
So if I let my ally die, come on. No. Steven, I need the temporary hit points. Just stroking you there as he dies. No, I need the temporary hit points.
I mean, it would be funny,
If
but no.
I think if your patron would see your party member as an enemy to him, or someone that goes against his ideals, because your power is coming from your patron, then maybe you could class them as an enemy.
Ooh,
Yes,
turn it into
Josh.
a roleplay
See,
moment like this.
So, someone's willing to play with my bullshit, okay? Someone's
Leo,
willing to play.
Play with your bullshit enough, okay?
When are you going to start playing with my balls?
I hope you understand it. That's going to be the soundbite of this episode. I don't care what else happens. My DM brain completely interprets it as if it wanted the ally to be within 10 feet of you, it would have said when someone else within 10 feet of you reduces a creature to 0 hit points. But because it has within 10 feet of you after an enemy, when an ally reduces an enemy to 0 hit points within 10 feet of you, that's how I'd understand it. Because it's the within 10 feet is after the enemy, that's how I would consider it.
Yeah,
big
I'd
time.
agree with you.
Big time. The body got to be within 10 feet.
Yeah.
Now, one of the other
There's no
changes
fight
that they
like
made for Pact of the Fiend is they changed the expanded spell list ever so slightly. So beforehand, and I do like the little clarification that they've started doing with the expanded spell list, is instead of saying when you can cast a spell of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th, instead they say what level you gain these spells at, which is much nicer. But the old spell list, when you could cast 1st level spells, you gained Burning Hands of Command. When you could cast 2nd level spells, you had Blindness, Deafness, Scorching Ray. At 3rd level, you had Fireball. When you could cast 3rd level spells, you had Fireball and Stinky Cloud. When you could cast 4th level, you had Fire Shield and Wall of Fire. And when you could cast 5th level spells, you had Flame Strike and Hallow. The new spell list basically got rid of 3 spells and replaced them with 3 different ones. And I'm still not sure how I feel about it.
So the ones that have been replaced, like a lot of the higher level ones, so instead of Flame Strike and Hallow, it's now Geese and Insect Plague.
Sorry.
Which
Nothing.
They have also replaced one more.
Instead of Blindness and Deafness, it's now Fireball.
Nope, Fireball's in both.
Yeah, sorry, I'm reading that wrong.
It's all good. They replaced Blindness and Deafness with Suggestion.
Suggestion, that's it. My bad, homies.
Is all good. It's honestly interesting to hear you pronounce geese, because I've heard so many people pronounce it so many different ways. I've heard so many people on the internet just go, actually it's geish. I'm Gias, because Code Gias. There's also
I read it as geese because you'd be sucking on geese nuts. And that made me smile. So yeah, it was geese.
Alright, so once you hit Warlock level 9, you can cast Geese Nuts. Haha. Got it.
Yeah.
Is the flavor text.
Yep.
Geese,
That's
nuts,
right.
Nuts and Incest Plague.
Oh, God.
Instead of Insect Plague.
You know what? That's if you can make if you can change 2 letters around on a spell to make it have a completely different effect, what would you do? And then immediately Josh is like, oh yeah, Incest Plague. There is an epidemic, and I'm not sure we like it.
And it scares me. Lord. Oh.
Lord, indeed.
So, regarding the spells, I'm going to bring it back. God damn it, Bad Dragon. You strike again.
Hey, if Love Honey don't want to sponsor us, Bad Dragon, you could reach out at any point in time. I mean, it is Dungeons and Dragons. We might as well bring whips and chains. Our inbox is open.
Good lord. But enough about that. I don't mind the spell changes. Personally, I felt like the 2014 version was very fiery later on, if that makes sense. We're not the fire, this isn't the fire patron, we're the fiend patron. So yes, a few fire things is fine, but we're a bit more diverse, and I think it fits the theme better, if that makes sense.
I agree. I think the one thing about my beloved 2014 fiend patron spells were, it almost, you could literally parallel it and be like, okay, that's a dragon pact spell list because of how much fire, like red dragon, do you know what I mean, how much fire is used, where not every demon and devil lives in a fiery pit. There's very different versions of hell. Each layer is different, not all devils are red and have horns. There are like, different coloured devils that use different types of magic, which for me, I think it means that you can make your Pact of the Fiend Warlock a lot more unique, because you might have more favoured spells. I feel like everyone does, depending on the character they're playing. But say maybe their patron is some sort of devil that lives in a cold, icy part of hell using fire magic all the time. Might not be sick.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. What do you think, Dan?
You see, the way I used to think about it was because back in the day, a lot of monsters that would have been associated with the fiend type, or like anything that would have been associated or had fiend in its name, were of a fiery nature. So I can see that. Sorry, I can see that's where they were going with it. They did take away one of the fiery spells, Flame Strike, and replaced it with Geish, Geos, Geese, whatever way you want to pronounce it. I can understand why they took away Flame Strike, because Flame Strike does also do radiant damage, and I don't think that really fits with the whole hell theme very well. So I can understand why. And Hallow, I don't think I've ever actually come across the spell Hallow, but just judging from the name, it seems very clericy.
Yeah, I mean,
you are correct. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, I just saw Hallow and then Hallowed Ground, so that's just kind of the association I made.
The good bit about the way that the 2024 rules are set out, there's quite a lot of room for you to change around certain aspects with the 2014 one. So if you did really prefer the 2014 spell list, just fucking use them.
Honestly,
the spell, the spell options, you much prefer the old ones. There's nothing stopping you from using that stuff.
Let's be a lesson to
like
players out there. Just remember, just talk to your DM. They're more than likely on board with whatever fucky idea you want to go with. You want to use the old spell list? Perfectly fine. You want to mix the two subclasses and use the old version of an ability? Go for it. I don't care.
If they do care, they're the one that's the problem.
Exactly. I want people to have fun while I'm punching them into the dirt at level 12.
Exactly. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the changes to the spell list, because like I say, it's just an optional extra, really.
Honestly, so am I. And there is one very thematic spell that I feel really works with the whole Fiend pack. And that's...
It's Geese.
It's Geese.
Yeah.
You're essentially forcing someone, if they fail to save, to doing what you want them to.
It's almost like you're making a pact with somebody.
Exactly. And depending on what level you cast it at, it means it either lasts... I think this is one that can potentially be permanent. Am I right?
Yes. Yes. But you have to cast it at like 9th level.
Yeah. I was thinking, if it's at a high enough level, it can be permanent.
Yeah, if it's 7 or 8 spell slot, the duration is a year, which is pretty funny. Which
That's
is
terrible.
permanent enough, I feel. Unless, like, if you're in the final encounter, like, well done, welcome, it's a year. Oh, no. He's
It's a
going
year
to
of
run
servitude
away.
Where you,
I
or you
didn't
take
tell
a
him.
bunch of damage, isn't it? No, it's not. That's a different
Yeah,
spell.
5d10. No, 5d10 psychic
Oh yeah,
damage.
5d10 psychic, yeah. The beauty that I see of this spell from like a DM's perspective is messing with common folk that your party are really attached to. Because a commoner has an average hit point total of 4. This minimum damage kills them if they resist the command you make.
I think that allows for more NPC interaction at later levels, which I think what I've often found as a player, not necessarily as a DM, is the later I get levels wise, it's quite a lot of focus around combat because it takes so long.
Yeah.
So the ability to have some other form of interaction with NPCs where they basically have to choose to die or do as they're told, basically, is quite interesting.
Yeah, it can be potentially deadly.
So Dan, what did they get at level 6?
I already talked about the spell list, Leo. This is on you.
What? Boo. Alright, level 6. I don't know, I think it was pretty cheap. Shit. Alright, so in 2014, starting at 6th level, back in 2014, you can call on your patron to alter fate in your favor. When you make an ability check or a saving throw, you can use this feature to add a d10 to your roll. You can do so after seeing the initial roll, but not seeing the effects that occur. And once you use it, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. Now, very similar. It's pretty much exactly the same, except for you can use this feature the number of times of your charisma modifier, minimum 1, but you can use it no more than once per roll. And you regain all uses after you finish a long rest. Now, Josh, do you think that Yeah? Yeah?
Massive.
I mean, yeah. Yeah.
All right, Dan, what do you get at level 10 then, you motherfucker? No, we won't rush.
No, because if you think about it, right, it was once per short or long rest. You average 2 short rests in between each long rest. That's an average. Say an average spellcasting, like main spellcasting slot, is going to have a modifier of +3. So you get 3 per long rest. The same as per short rest, but you can potentially have more. Because you could take a half feat to bump it up to a +4 modifier. You could take an ability score increase to bump it up to a +4 or +5 modifier. And then potentially you could be using this multiple times for long rest. And the ability to multiple times in one combat be able to affect your saving throws, I cannot stress how much that can save you.
We go from, like, as a Warlock player, that makes us feel like we're no longer in, like, the Wizard's shadow, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely feel that makes Warlock a lot more viable. Like it's almost like a Warlock now has a different kind of constitution to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's otherworldly to be able to regain all the expended uses when you finish a long rest, and it's obviously a charisma minimum of once, but you can use it, you know, how many times you said before. So, like you said, being able to, you said you'd be able to use it more than once in combat, right?
Yeah.
Yes, just not on the same throw, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a game changer.
Fair enough. It was one of those things where, obviously, I don't play Warlock, so I've never used Dark One's Own Luck, not even a sniff of it. And I was wondering if, because short resting versus doing it multiple times, which would you favor? Though I do know that when we rest in our games, it tends to be a long rest. And yeah, okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, okay, I'm there. I see what you see. I was at that table. I was reading that book.
Because if you think about it, it's now like, excuse me, Pact of the Fiends' own inbuilt Bardic Inspiration. Because Bardic Inspiration can be added to any D20 contest of any type. attack roll, ability check, saving throw. But now, beforehand, it was 1d10 per short rest, and you may not be guaranteed a short rest before your next long. So you probably only have, say, 1 for the next combat encounter, or whatever encounter you have. But just being able to activate it multiple times is a massive improvement. So much so that I'd say the old ability was shit.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, I'd have to agree there. I don't remember short resting a lot in my games anyway as a player, to be honest. So I always found that a bit frustrating. But this definitely changes. Even just the day-to-day play of your Warlock, like it just means each day you get more out of it, you know?
I think it definitely punishes DMs that do favor a short rest, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So if but the likelihood from what I'm hearing is that they would be in the minority of DMs that would go for short rests. If you're a DM and you love short rests, do you hate this change? Let us know in the comments below.
Mhm.
All I'm saying is DMs, get into our DMs and let us know. Come on, that was good.
It was pretty good.
That was
It pretty
good.
You know what? Yeah, I'm making that a soundbite.
Oh god.
There's a reason we're called the Bards of
Well-
Christianity. We're going to riz you up no matter who you were.
But I feel like there's quite a few sound bites from this podcast already.
Oh, there is. Marking down times.
Well, do you know what, Dan? Maybe you should do more talking. What happens at level 10, you prick?
Yeah, Dan. God.
I did level 6.
Yeah. And I did quite a lot of talking about spells because I love this. Anyway, at level 10, you gain Fiendish Resilience. And beforehand, back in the original iteration of the class, you could choose one damage type for long rest, and you would gain resistance to it until you finish a short or long rest. The unfortunate stipulation with that was magical or silver weapons ignored this property. So if you chose to be resistant to, say, ice, or sorry, not ice, cold damage. I've been playing too much Pokemon lately. If you chose to be resistant to cold damage for this for whatever reason, if you were hit with, say, what is it? It was Flame Tongue and what was it? Frostbrand, I think is the name of the
Yeah,
very rare
yeah.
stuff that does cold damage. Because that would be considered a magical weapon, you wouldn't gain resistance to that cold damage. However, in the new and improved version of it, I would definitely say improved. You can choose one damage type for long rest, excluding force, unfortunately. And you can gain resistance to that damage until the next long rest.
Big.
So big. Firstly, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but Dan, I feel like you chose a very difficult example. You could have just said bludgeoning and then a +1 weapon.
I could have, but I was going to say fire, but I'm pretty sure Pact of the Fiend doesn't gain resistance to fire. I'm just thinking of the stereotypical tiefling playing.
You racist.
We spoke about this.
We spoke about this before we started the podcast, you racist.
I'm pretty sure one of the images for this class in the original player's handbook was a fucking tiefling. Fight me.
Profiling is not acceptable.
I thought it was that woman that's got the white eyes.
I'm pretty sure she's a tiefling.
No, it's a I don't know how to describe it.
Hold on, I play
Almost,
player's
she
handbook
looks
right
a bit-
next to me.
All right, we're going to take a
I will eat
short
my
little
words. I
break
do
while
not.
Dan finds that page.
I have the DM's Guide and the Monster Manual, along with multiple other DM-related books.
Are you on about the subclass or the class?
The subclass for
Oh, maybe. No, I'm looking at the woman that was the main artwork for the class. My bad.
I could be wrong. I'm prepared to eat my words, and I'm prepared for people on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube to call me out on it and say no.
No, I genuinely think I was being dumb there. My bad.
If you want to call out Dan more often, please feel free to subscribe.
You can find us on all the major
Share it. Yeah, share it. We're on Spotify too. Fucking check us out there. Unless you're
Oh, yeah.
already here, then welcome.
Yeah, that's a weird
Oh
one.
god, what a weird phrasing. What
Unless you're
weird
already here,
phrasing I
then-
just did there.
Hi, I guess.
Yeah. Cheers, boss.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for being here. And if you're anywhere else, also thank you for being. Sure, just thank you for listening. It's swell.
You know what? Yeah. Thank you all for listening.
It's swell.
We love you.
Hey, enough of you listened. Now we have Josh.
Exactly.
Hey, I was that one listener. Okay.
Ah, yes, you were the one listener
now-
Leo was addressing ages ago.
Yep.
We don't. Do
Hey,
enough
and I'm not
callbacks
saying
in
we'll
this show
take
yet.
it. We really don't. I don't know if we have the content to be able to do to do callbacks,
Now we do.
but we will. We will.
So what are you guys' just to round it off before we finish off the final before we finish off and go to the final ability of the subclass? What is your guys' opinions on the Fiendish Resilience?
It makes Warlocks less squishy. It just covers itself more, like it covers its own back a lot more in comparison to before. And again, it's making the Warlock very utilitarian. There's no if, buts, or maybes other than the force damage, but generally speaking, force damage is such a rare damage type to come across that it's a good trade-off in my opinion.
For me, it just gives raw sex appeal. You know, it's significantly better. You're never choosing force, even though you could in 2014. You're never choosing it realistically. Being able to change every short rest, long rest, love it. If you know you're about to go up against Davon the Fire Fuck, then you're gonna go have your long rest and be like, you know what? I'm gonna change it to fire. I'm like, oh, that's fair enough. And yeah, I think I actually think it's a lot better because like even with I mean the likelihood of silver weapons I don't know, but magical weapons like a +1 sword is a magical weapon. You know, it's actually quite easy, and especially at level 10, the likelihood of your enemy having a +1 sword is massive. Yeah, no, I like it. It's good. Yes, much better.
All right, so that brings us back to Josh. Round us out with the final ability of the Pact of the Fiend.
Okay, so the original final one for Pact of the Fiend is Hell Through Hell. So, in the 2014 one, starting at 14th level, when you hit a creature with an attack, you can use this feature to instantly transport the target through the lower planes. The creature disappears and hurtles through a nightmare landscape. At the end of your next turn, the target returns to the space it previously occupied or the nearest unoccupied space. If the target is not a fiend, it takes 10d10 psychic damage as it reels from its horrific experience. Once you've used this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. So that was the original. Pretty cool, pretty big. So, you know, I feel like it was easy to consume and read through. So with the brand new version, there's quite a bit more text here when you're reading it through. I'll read it for you. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack roll, you can try and instantly transport the target through the lower planes. The target must succeed on a charisma saving throw against your spell DC, or the target disappears and is hurtled through a nightmare landscape. The target takes 8d10 psychic damage if it isn't a fiend, and is incapacitated until the end of your next turn. When it returns to the space it previously occupies or the nearest unoccupied space. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a magic spell slot. No action required to restore or use it. I hope you guys were following what I was saying there. It was a lot of gibberish. But for me, basically...
What did you say? I was not listening.
Well, I hope I understand that's just fucking rude. We invite him on and you don't even listen to what he's saying, huh?
Listen, if I wanted this, I'd go sit with my partner right now. Come on.
Oh, sorry, yeah. I couldn't resist. Go ahead, Josh. Keep going.
It's so the damage is less because before it was 10d10 psychic damage. Now it's 8d10 psychic damage. Still, that's a lot of damage, okay? But once you use the feature, you can't use it until you finish a long rest, unless you use a spell slot, which before you just couldn't use it again until you'd had done a long rest. But now, if you want to expend a spell slot, you can.
I personally find that, right? So yes, it's, at face value, yes, there's a save DC, which the previous one didn't, which makes it so much worse. You lose 2d10 damage dice, makes it worse. But fuck, the concept, the thought, like, imagine you do this 3 times in a row to the same enemy.
Exactly.
That's just funny. That's objectively funny. You know what I mean?
You could create a low-key I've been falling for 30 minutes moment if you keep using this ability over and over again.
I would.
Except they come out with, like, severe trauma.
Not as severe as it was in 2014, but still severe trauma.
I think if you go through something 3 times, it's still pretty bad.
Do you know what? I think it's better. Just for I know there's a save DC, I know it's less damage, but I actually think this is better. Not only just for objectively hilarious. I can't wait. I'd love to be there watching someone and I'd like to do it again, and I'd like to do it again, and I'd like to, because the end of your next turn, you can just keep going. Oh fuck! It's love it. Yeah, no, I actually quite like this. I quite like this. What do you think, Dan?
I hate the change. Yeah.
Judas,
I'm going to be brutally honest, and I hate the change right now, and I'll tell you why. At 14th level, when you get this at 14th level, a majority of boss fights, I'd say an easy 90% of them, or at least the big encounters, are going to have some form of legendary resistance. So first off, at least either your party has to get rid of that, or you're going to have to burn their legendary resistance by making them fail to save. That's if they don't already have a high charisma saving throw to begin with. The old edition, you could get them out of the fight for 1 whole round. No save required, you just had to hit them with an attack roll. That's all you had to do. They would come back, take 10d10 psychic, and you would have had to either have a round of your party being able to prepare for this, because they come in at the end of your turn. You could skip their turn. So beforehand, it was a balanced ability, in my opinion, because it was only once a long rest. It was only one enemy that was ever affected, and you had to hit them.
I think as a player, when you unlock an ability, especially in later levels, the more often you can use that ability, the happier you are with getting it. I understand where you're coming from completely, though. I can see where you're coming from, where it's easier to get. It was easier to fire off before. It obviously did more damage, and they could miss a full round.
I thought of something else, by the way, for our case, Josh. Don't worry. Right? Let's say he doesn't make the save. You've just been able to maybe burn a legendary resistance. If we're talking big bad, which is pretty bougie in my book.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because now I'm not smart. It's weird. I was so far one way, and then Dan spoke. And now I'm like slap in the middle.
You see, I'm going to try and sway you more to my side there, Josh. Because you said that from you said that from your experience as a player, or from like a player's point of view, being able to use the ability more times makes you happier. However, I know from my experience, both as a DM and a player, the more often I can get an ability off where it's actually succeeding, the happier I am.
Well, sometimes the fun isn't always in the winning.
It's about the fucking journey.
Yeah, and what if I want to consistently send them on a journey through the lower planes and make them see the absolute hellhole that was my home world, at least my patron's home world?
Yeah, what you're gonna do is you're gonna send them to Narnia, and then they'll come back at the end of the movie. We're sending him to the fucking Bridge of Terabithia. That motherfucker's going back and going back and going back.
You're awfully confident they're going to keep failing to save. Because I know from my point of view, if I tried to use this the 3 times, let's say the 3, maximum 4, if you're purely Warlock, and just going off of pack magic to use this ability, and it kept failing, I would feel like shit.
I get better risk, huh?
Yeah, I had to build a character to get this off. because I want to get off. You know.
Hey, Leo. Remember when you've been a player building entirely from one big, massive damage roll and that fails? Because your whole character is built around this idea? Do you remember how shit you felt then?
Yeah, no. I felt sad, but here's the thing. I then did it. I then just did it again. Not as successfully, but I was aiming for the top and I got the top. I just wanted to break the top more. You know what I mean? Like, I see what you're saying, but nah. All right, Dan. So, by the way, we've heard what your opinion about the level 14. What about the whole subclass as a whole? What do you rate it out of 10?
What do I rate it out of 10? So far, up until that last ability, everything was going really well. They were improved. I can wholeheartedly say all of the changes that they made, bar Hurl Through Hell, were in the positive direction. They made the abilities better. They made them easier to use. They buffed them, made them maybe just that little bit stronger, gave them more uses, that kind of thing. So I would say I'm going to put this at a 7. I may have put it at 8, but Hurl Through Hell has really irked me. I don't think it needed to be changed.
All right, Josh, what do you think?
See, for me, Hurl Through Hell wasn't as big of a deal, although I thought it was pretty good at first, and I was like, okay, there are downsides to it. And because the spell list could be completely changed back to the old list if you really wanted to, I after reading through it the first time, I think out of nostalgia, I actually quite hated the new rules. But I think that was just because I was being a moody little sorry boy. But after we spoke about it now, and hearing your opinions, it's sort of altered my opinion of the new subclass, to be honest. I'd say I actually prefer it now as opposed to then after level 3. I still much prefer to get some stuff at level 1 like before. But I'd say for a new subclass, like a new way of doing the subclass, I generally think it's an 8 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think they could have messed it up so much worse, like they have done some of the other subclasses. But they have done a really good job on some of them.
Time to shit on that.
Yeah, and I think I think they actually put thought into this one, and it's a bit of Warlock love, man, and I appreciate a bit of Warlock love.
Nice. Well, see, now I want to ask one question to the DMs, and it will be a plus or minus 1 rating for me, right? So when you give someone a command, can you command someone to fail a save? All right. So yeah, this is a 9.
It depends, because there are some specific cases where the spell actually mentions you cannot give them a command that would directly put them in harm. Like you can't command them.
This says certain death. Yeah, this says certain death. Yeah, this is a 9.
I would say yeah.
Because I'm gonna nut them, and then I'm gonna hurl them through hell countless times.
See, I would say that saving throws for me are not something people, in my head, when you're role playing out a scenario, you're fighting in a scenario, when something happens, say fireball happens, I don't think it's because it's often like a reaction, it's a save and throw, it's in the moment. I often think it's more reflex or instinct than thought, a save and throw, or hardiness. So I'm a bit more precarious to say whether you can tell someone they have to fail a save and throw. I would probably feign against it, because if I could do that to a player, I would be taking away a certain bit of their agency and ability to roll to avoid it. Where obviously if it's the reverse and the player's doing it for an NPC, it's whether you're going to go, right, there's one rule for the player and then there's one rule for the DM, if that makes sense.
Can I bring you to my and Leo's side for a second? Because I completely agree with you. Sometimes it does take away agency, and saving throws may be something inherently more reactive. But your Geese Nuts command could simply be don't resist, and then you just slap them and send them through hell. They comply or they take damage anyway and risk taking more. My other thing is if my player asked me, would that count? Like, say Leo's asked me that now and said, oh, can I use the Geos command to make them fail a saving throw? Or at least command them to make them fail that saving throw. I will present them with this. If you're allowed to do it to me, I'm allowed to do it to you. And then it's up to them if they want it to be a rule that we can both use versus one that he can use in that moment.
I agree. I think that's a fair statement.
I just think, now granted, right? Personally, I'm willing to roll the dice on that one. Firstly, because if it's the big bad, then only I suffer and everyone else is having fun, right? And yeah, right? Or like I get to do this, I get to Geese Nuts, or I wait till the very fucking end. We're level 20, we're battling the big bad. Dan, I have this idea. Good luck rebuilding your big bad to stop to do it to me. This is the last session, motherfucker. But yeah, the concept of being able to combine Geese Nuts and Hurl Through Hell just makes my heart giggle. And so it's a 9. It's a 9. There's no logic to it, if that makes sense. Like, it's a good subclass, don't get me wrong, but it's a 9 because it makes my heart smile. And
that's all that matters.
Okay. That's all that matters sometimes. Like, if we were doing a one shot, I would build this fiend character to try and see what that looks like. Like, would it be a concept to maybe multi-class into sorcerer to have quicken spell? I don't know. I'm here for it. I have to hit a creature with an attack roll. Yeah, no, this would work. Oh, this would totally work. You fucking multi-class a bit into sorcerer, get quicken spell, Geese Nuts them, slap them with a thing, don't resist, advantage, turn around and don't resist.
Do you know what? You don't even have to
love it. Yeah,
a sorcerer. You can just take a feat. You can take Meta Magic.
You're still right.
As a feat, gain 2 sorcery points. Use the new version of Quicken Spell, which is 2 sorcery points instead of 3, and then use Chaos.
Like, that's just gas to me, lads. That's gas. Yeah, 9. Very happy with it. Very happy with it.
The way,
do you know what?
The way that Dan says Geos, I just keep hearing.
No, I say Geos because I've watched, I think, the anime code Geos like 2 or 3 times, and I've watched the dub specifically of that anime.
That's all I just hear is you going, yeah, if you use.
Oh man,
it's been like I've been trying not to giggle the whole episode, like since it was mentioned, to be honest.
Oh man,
it's like if you use.
I think, do you know what? I think on that note, listeners, on today's episode, we're only doing one subclass. So that, dear listeners, brings us to the end of another session.
Leo?
Question mark?
Leo? We gotta do one more thing before we do the outro.
Oh shit! Okay, edit that out. What are we doing?
No, I'm leaving that in. Josh, before we finish up, plug yourself on absolutely everything.
Rolling Ones on YouTube, also on TikTok, at some point Twitch? Question mark?
Ooh.
You can probably find me commenting on most of the episodes these guys have posted so far. If you're wanting to sort of see more of us doing stuff and things, we will be collabing on my channel as well. I'm sure that one of these lovely chaps will put my link in the description.
Of course we will.
Oh, without a doubt.
Of course.
Make a note to do
that.
Yeah. Don't forget to do that, Dan. Don't forget it.
It's okay. I'm writing in a big writing in my notebook. Plug Rolling Ones.
Please use me first.
There we go. You can't miss it.
Yeah. And in case we do forget, just in case, don't be afraid to call us out in the comment section below. We will fix it.
Don't worry, I will.
I don't think you understand how scared I am to upload this episode.
No, I'm very excited to be on your channel. If they want to know what that is, they'll have to fucking subscribe to you and wait. Haha, we gotcha.
Great intrigue. Love it.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha. All I can say is it's going to be.
It's rolling blood.
All I can say is it's going to be a fun project. I've had fun coming up with my bits, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It's kind of the first version of this because, as you could tell, I pick a thing and I really thing the thing out of that thing, which is not what we're doing. So yeah, no, I was trying to be vague about it, but then realized I just said thing potentially more times than anyone ever has.
Now I'm going to be expecting an episode about the thing from Fantastic Four. Thanks.
That's,
You just gave it away.
Maybe it
Fuck
is.
You guys. Fuck you guys.
Yeah. Is it an Easter egg? Is it an Easter egg? Is it a human torch? Wink. Is it Mr. Fantastic? Wink.
No,
You really took away the opportunity for me to say passing the human torch as a joke.
Well, you know what? I think we're all saved from it.
Well,
you know what? That, dear listeners, brings us to the end of another session where the dice are hard, the jokes are harder,
Actually, wait,
and our
Leo.
standards are at an all-time low.
Leo.
New bridge. Let me just. What now?
Absolutely nothing. I just wanted to do it a second time.
If you've interrupted me for no fucking reason.
I did interrupt you for no fucking reason.
And that, dear listeners, brings us to the end of another session where the dice are hard, the jokes are harder, and our standards are at an all-time low.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this chaos, be sure to follow and subscribe. If not, at least we finished, even if you didn't. Goodbye.
I don't know if Josh said goodbye, but I saw his thing light up a couple times.
goodbye, bitch.
Yeah, there we go. Bye.